Today, we're exploring Maastricht, one of the oldest cities in the Netherlands and honestly one of the most unique. The second you arrive, it already feels different from places like Amsterdam or Rotterdam. The buildings feel older, the streets feel softer somehow, and there's this strong mix of Dutch, Belgian, and almost French energy all blending together. We started our day at Maastricht station and slowly made our way towards the city centre. And almost immediately, cafes were everywhere. Maastricht is actually really famous for its cafe culture and relaxed lifestyle, and you can feel it here instantly. Nobody here seems in a hurry. It's like in those movies where people just sit outside in the sun, holding a beer, relaxing, taking their time. This, I think, was what inspired these shots. Eventually, we reached the Maas River, which is basically the backbone of Maastricht. The Maas River is one of Europe's major rivers and flows through France, Belgium, and the Netherlands before reaching the North Sea. Historically, Maastricht became important because of this river. It helped the city grow as a trade and military center centuries ago, and even today it gives the city this calm, open atmosphere. We crossed the Maas through Sint Servaasbrug, which is one of Maastricht's most iconic landmarks. It's considered the oldest bridge in the Netherlands, originally dating back to the 13th century. And standing there, you really feel how historic the city is. On one side, you've got old stone buildings and church towers, and on the other side, modern cafes and tourists everywhere taking photos. Our first stop after the Maas River was the Basilica of Our Lady. It's also known as Basilica of Our Lady, Star of the Sea. From outside, it already looked stunning with its dark stone walls and Romanesque architecture, but inside was even more beautiful. The lighting was soft and dim. Candles were glowing everywhere, and the whole church had this incredibly peaceful atmosphere. It's one of the oldest churches in the Netherlands and is especially famous for the statue of Our Lady, Star of the Sea, which many pilgrims come to visit. Even if you're not religious, the place just makes you go quiet automatically. And then we reached Vrijthof, which honestly feels like the social heart of Maastricht. The square is huge and surrounded by cafes, historic buildings, churches, and terraces full of people sitting in the sun pretending they don't have responsibilities. It's also one of the most famous squares in the Netherlands because so many events happen here. Concerts, Christmas markets, festivals, even Andre Rieu's famous concert was held here every year. And visually, it looked incredible from every angle. No matter where you stood, something looked photo-worthy. Right next to Vrijthof is the Basilica of Sint Servatius. This is one of the most important religious landmarks of the Netherlands. The architecture is stunning, especially the towers and detailed entrances. Places like this make Maastricht feel less like a city and more like an open-air history book. At this point, we were completely exhausted from all the walking. And surprisingly, the weather was warm and nice, so we stopped for a quick break. I got lemon tea, Ujjwal got cola, and for a few minutes we just sat there doing absolutely nothing, which somehow became one of my favorite parts of the day. And then, my favorite place in Maastricht, Boekhandel Dominicanen. This bookstore is inside a 700-year-old Dominican church, which already sounds unreal. The giant vaulted ceilings, old frescoes, stained glass windows, shelves rising into the church walls, it all honestly feels magical inside. It's regularly ranked as one of the most beautiful bookstores in the world, and once you walk in, you know why. But there's one thing that genuinely makes me a little sad about moving to the Netherlands is how hard it can be to find English books sometimes. Most bookstores and libraries are filled almost entirely with Dutch books, which I know obviously makes sense, but as someone who loves wandering through bookstores, I do miss seeing endless English shelves, something that I can also read. Still, this place was beautiful enough to make me forget that for a while. And after that, we wanted to explore the Maastricht caves, especially the famous St. Petersburg caves, which are these huge underground tunnel systems created from limestone quarrying centuries ago. Apparently, there are hundreds of kilometers of tunnels beneath Maastricht, and they are even used as shelters during wars. Unfortunately, we got there too late for the final batch entry, so instead we headed toward Helpoort, the oldest surviving city gate in the Netherlands. Built in the 13th century, it's one of the last remaining parts of Maastricht's medieval city walls. Walking through it at sunset honestly felt like accidentally stepping into another century. And by this point, I was starving. So we started walking around searching for food and randomly found King Ramen. And trust us when we say this, one of the best decisions of the day. After all the walking, the ramen tasted incredible. Warm broth, noodles, tired feet, evening city lights. Honestly, perfect timing. And then, just like that, it was time to head home. Looking back, Maastricht feels less like a city you visit and more like a city you slowly experience. Between the river, the old churches, bookstores hidden inside cathedrals, busy squares, tiny cafes, and random little moments throughout the day, everything just felt memorable. Even the things that didn't go to the plan somehow became part of the charm. And I already know this isn't going to be my last trip here. So, if you like this video, you know what to do. Go hit that like and maybe share with your friends and family so they can experience Maastricht too. Until the next vlog, I'll see you. Bye bye.